With over a half century of knowledge to bring to the pulling track, the Keener family, they know how to get it done out here on the track. And you know, Duane, you said you've got almost 60 years of experience. I can't even imagine what pulling was like 60 years ago when you started.
It was slow. You hooked onto a stationary boat and you tried to pull it 20 feet. When you got that done, they put more on and you done it again. That was back when John Deere's had 2 cylinders, and that's what we used. The old 2-cylinder tractor.
Well, it's kind of amazing, Frank, that you go from 2-cylinder tractors to 4,000 horsepower unlimited super stockers today. You know, what's that kind of been like for you to grow up and kind of see all these changes happening and have all these really cool experiences as a kid growing up?
Well, it's a dream. You know, I remember as a kid going to all the pulls and you know, at the time we didn't have the best equipment and the fastest tractors, and you always dreamed of that, you know. And it's just like, this is just a dream come true to be able to say that we're one of the best in the country. That's just that dream come true.
But Duane, did you ever imagine 60 years ago on a 2-cycle tractor, or 2-cylinder tractor, that you would ever be able, you know, to run one of these big dogs and you're making 4,000 horsepower? Was that even fathomable back then?
No, because there wasn't this kind of tractors back then. Back then you took a tractor out of the farm out of the field, took it to the fair and pulled it. That's the way it was for 20-some years. I remember being at the first Bowling Green tractor pull. And there it was starting to get a little dedicated tractors to pulling, but not many. Most of them were still out of the field. Now we're all got dedicated pulling tractors.
Well, and with that dedicated pulling tractor also comes a lot more dedication in the shop, because these aren't machines that you can just take and park in the shed and then bring them back out for the next weekend. You guys really spend a lot of time in the shop, technology-wise. You know, you guys are always trying to be innovative and really working hard to advance your tractors even further than they already are.
Yeah, these 2 tractors, they kind of got their own little stall there in the shop, and usually we get home from the pulls late at night, so the next morning usually they're unloaded and put back in their hole there in the corner, and the hoods are up, and all weekend you're looking at them, tinkering and trying to figure out what that next step is to try and get a little bit more advantage.
Well, and you've always had a top-notch team and competing in the state of Ohio. And you know, Duane, you've got a big part in the Ohio State Tractor Pullers Association as well.
Yeah, I got involved with that in the 90s, and it was a good experience. I had a good time. I had some rough times, but overall, I really enjoyed my time in the Ohio State Board and being president. Yeah.
And you know, Frank, you have that same experience too as part of that board, getting to make those decisions. You know, how do you balance that, coming running a national circuit and helping to run a regional organization as well?
It takes a lot of help from the family. When I was tied up with a lot of the presidential duties and the duties of the board and everything, it took a lot of my attention away from the pulling, so I relied a lot on Dad and my son Bill to help fill in the cracks there to keep the tractor going.
Well, and you mentioned, you know, Bill, your son, your grandson, and that's got to be a unique experience for you too, Duane, to come out here and to have, you know, 3 generations of tractor pullers at the event each and every weekend.
Yes, it is. I never really thought too much about it, but a guy mentioned to me today that this will probably never happen again, that 3 generations and a team that won the championship.
And Frank, you got to do a lot of the driving this year. You know, did your dad have to take a step back for a little while, and Billy got to step in? You know, what was that like for you to kind of, you know, work together with your son and work towards this common goal?
Well, it was really neat. And our main goal was to get this tractor to a national championship for Dad. We got many more opportunities, Bill and I. Dad won't have, you know, a lot more, but hopefully maybe we can get another one. We don't know, but our main goal was this tractor, and I felt honored to step in and drive, and we done really well with it, and we got a good points lead, and it was a fun season.
Well, and Duane, you got to have a big hand in it as well, because not only were you behind the scenes helping to make decisions, but you got to step back into the driver's seat once you were cleared by your doctors and help campaign the tractor to this championship as well.
I didn't have to get cleared by the doctors, had to get cleared by the family. The doctors cleared me before that, but the family thought maybe I shouldn't take advantage of that right away, that maybe we could cause more complications if it got to get out of control. So we kind of waited a little extra time for me to get back on it, but it was just for my health.
Well, and many state victories and regional championships, but your first national championship coming to a close here by such a great margin. I can't even imagine what that's like to put that feather in your cap.
The margin is something we could never dreamed of. We figured that if we won a champion, it'd be wonderful. But to get 50-some points ahead, it was unreal.
We're not so much here to be cocky and stick a feather in our hat, because we have a lot of respect for every one of our competitors. And we're not here to say that we're better than anybody else. We're just here that we've done a little bit better job this year.
Well, these guys definitely have an advantage in the points. They're here to put on a show for us, and just a great season altogether for the Keener family.